Hey, White, can you unmute yourself, please? Can you hear us, Mr. White?
Yes, I can. Good morning.
Okay. We just called your case. Your attorney's present in the courtroom.
Okay.
And Judge Hillman is presiding.
So the infractions are a speeding infraction, obstructing an emergency vehicle infraction, and a state highway infraction. But I will note that the state highway infraction, the CMR in which it's charged under, has been repealed. So I would want to address that before any kind of trial began. Because,
all right, how's the Commonwealth answering?
Your Honor, it's my understanding that since the count 1, which is the reckless operation, has been dismissed through a 3G, our office is unsure how to proceed under just the speeding.
I think we're going to treat that as a CMVI at this stage.
What I would suggest is it's on for a civil bench trial. It's a criminal docket. I think that this is different than like a civil motor vehicle appeal where there's already been a determination made elsewhere. I think this should be just a trial where the Commonwealth is involved. The Commonwealth is one who filed the charges.
I'll treat it like almost like a magistrate hearing where I'll hear from the trooper who issued, or the officer, whoever issued the citation. You'll have an opportunity to ask some questions if you would like. And then if Mr. White wishes to present any evidence, we can do it that way.
Again, what I would suggest is I think that this is something that the Commonwealth needs to be involved in by the way that it's charged. And if they're not looking to get involved in it, then I would suggest this should be dismissed for lack of prosecution.
Okay. Do we have the trooper who issued the citation present? And that's you, trooper? Okay. So I don't think we need to go through I think we can treat this as again, we're going to treat it as a civil infraction. That's how I'm going to treat it because it's only a civil infraction. Are you prepared to go forward today?
I would first note my objection to that.
Okay.
But I would ask that she be apprised of her Fifth Amendment privilege, be appointed an attorney, and apprised of her Fifth Amendment privilege beforehand. This is a situation where she wrote a report, filed that report with the clerk magistrate. This court has already determined that there was false material evidence provided to that, and I would suggest that she'd be at risk of perjury if she were to testify to what is in her report.
Okay.
So I would suggest that she should be apprised of that.
Trooper, this is your privilege. Are you prepared to go forward? Okay. Have you received a copy of the motion?
No.
Okay. Are you prepared to go forward today? Okay.
Yeah, I would ask that this is something.
Do you want me to appoint do you want to speak with an attorney? Okay, it's your privilege. So if you're prepared to go forward, we'll go forward. Okay. Mr. Clerk, can you admit me to the Zoom so I can see Mr. White as well and he can see me?
Apologies.
No problem. Okay, so let's go forward then.
Okay. I'll swear in the trooper.
Yes, please. Good.
Morning, trooper. Please raise your right hand. Thank you, dear. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you.
I can't see the.
Good morning, Mr. White.
I can't see the witness. Can I please be able to see the witness, please?
I can.
Yep.
Just want to make sure he's not filming.
See the witness.
Mr. White, can you see the witness?
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right. Trooper, I'm going to hear from you, Trooper. What's your name, please?
Trooper Yasmin Sabrino, sir.
Can you spell your last name for the record?
Sobrinho. Sobrinho.
Okay, Trooper Sabrino. All right, I'm going to hear from Trooper Sabrino as to the basis for the citation. Once she's finished testifying, Attorney Whitson will have an opportunity to ask some questions, Mr. White. And then if you wish to present any evidence, you'll have an opportunity to do so, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
I would just ask that the witness testify from memory, not reading a police report.
Okay, Trooper, what was the basis for the citation?
Your speed, Your Honor.
Okay, tell me what happened.
I was conducting LiDAR and radar speed enforcement on 84 westbound in Sturbridge. At the time, I was assigned to the State Police Sturbridge Barracks.
All right. Tell the court the basis for the citation. Tell me what happened.
So while conducting speed enforcement, my radar, which is the radio detection and ranging that's mounted on my cruiser, locked the vehicle's speed at 92, and from what I can remember, I believe it was up to 94 miles an hour. I then used my LiDAR, which is light detection and ranging. It's a binocular device that I locked in because I observed a white Chevrolet SUV traveling at a high rate of speed. From what I remember, tailing other vehicles, driving very aggressively and unsafely, and I locked the vehicle's speed on my LiDAR at 94 miles an hour as well.
Okay, what else would you like to tell the court?
So at that point, I left my stationary position. I had to drive upwards of 100 miles an hour to catch up to the vehicle in the left travel lane in order to stop it due to this high rate of speed.
Anything else you want to add?
If I'm going based off memory, that's all I have. I was summoned this morning, so.
Okay. All right. Any questions?
Trooper Sabrino, why did you lie in your police report about what took place that day?
I did not lie.
You're aware that the court has already found that you provided false material evidence to have a complaint issued against Mr. White for reckless operation, correct?
No, I'm not aware.
You're not aware of that? You haven't seen that decision that was made?
No.
You haven't discussed that with the Commonwealth at all?
No, I was never involved in any of the court proceedings.
Okay. And you haven't spoke with the Commonwealth about what happened previously?
No.
You testified you were doing, well, let's look at that. You wrote a police report in this case, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And what you wrote was that after you got behind Mr. White's vehicle, you activated your lights and that he pulled over to the left side of the highway, correct?
He stopped in the left travel lane.
You stopped in the left travel lane.
In between, like, the left travel lane and there's not a breakdown lane on the left side on that highway. So it's kind of like he was like straddling between the left lane and the median.
Okay. So what you're testifying to now is that when he pulled over to the left, that his car was straddling into the travel lane.
There's not exactly a breakdown lane on that highway, so the majority
There's not a
of
breakdown lane on the right side of the highway either, though, right?
There is.
Okay. So what you're testifying to is that can you describe that again? He pulled over to the left and you're saying his car was straddling between outside of the travel lane and in the travel lane, correct?
From what I remember, he was mostly in the left travel lane because there's not a breakdown lane or median there, it's just grass.
It was mostly in the travel lane. And you write that in your report that he put on his left signal, came to a slow stop, and stopped in the left travel lane. That's what you put. Okay. And then again, you write even further down that you describe that it's dangerous to stop in a lane of travel on a highway, correct?
Correct.
And you even cite to the Massachusetts Driver's Manual that a person is not to stop in a lane of travel, correct?
Correct.
And then when you approached Mr. White afterwards, you asked him to pull over to the right side of the highway, and he did that. When you approached him, you asked him why he stopped in the left travel lane of the highway. And that you also explained to him that it was, and what you put in your report is that how unsafe it is to come to a dead stop in the passing lane of the highway.
Correct.
Okay. Now, at this time, you were wearing a body-worn camera, correct? Showing you a still of your body-worn camera. Do you recognize that as your body-worn camera would have shown where he stopped on the left side of the highway?
Yes.
Right. It's fair to say that his car is not in the travel lane, correct?
Once he initially stopped in the travel lane, and then he correct.
It's fair to say that his car is not stopped in the travel lane.
At that time, no. Once I got on my cruiser.
So this is a fair and accurate representation of where the car was pulled over on the left side of the highway initially.
Not initially, no, but.
If I could just have a moment, I'm going to get my computer to show the body-worn camera. I mean,
What's it relevant to?
to show that she's lying about where the car stopped. You'll see
Not what I
exactly
said.
where he pulled over. She's saying this isn't fair and accurate. Then I'll submit the body-worn camera that shows exactly where she approached the vehicle.
Do you have any
Yeah.
photographs of it?
This is a photograph of it.
Your Honor, if I may, I do not have a cruiser-mounted camera, so it does not show when I initially turned on my lights. He did come to a dead stop in the left travel lane, and I continued to lay on my horn and my sirens to hope that he would get the hint, move over, and he just, once he came to, like, I stopped and I got on my cruiser, that's when he did that. But initially, he was stopped in the
Body-worn
left
camera
travel
will be
lane.
even. This is what
How
her
long is the
testimony is.
body-worn camera?
4 minutes. Not even.
Okay.
Testifying that you laid on the horn while he was pulled over?
As
While he was pulling over?
As I was trying to pull him over, I maneuvered between my horn and my sirens.
Laid on your horn?
Their horn.
The body-worn camera has audio, correct?
It doesn't kick in until after 30 seconds, but yes.
Let me ask you a little bit about, while this is loading, let me ask you about the body-worn camera and the cruiser-mounted camera.
I do not have a cruiser-mounted camera.
Okay. You're aware of the policies of the Mass State Police, correct? Are you familiar with policy ADM 35, which is regarding body-worn and cruiser-mounted cameras? I can show it to you if you'd like. Familiar with this policy of your department?
Yes.
You're familiar that that policy talks about the requirements of body-worn and cruiser-mounted cameras, correct?
Yes. Again, I do not have a cruiser-mounted camera.
That's not my question. The question is that the policy of the Mass State Police is that cruiser-mounted cameras should be on cruisers, correct?
Not all cruisers have cruiser-mounted cameras.
Okay. But that's not what does anywhere in that policy say that certain cruisers are exempt from having cruiser-mounted camera?
To my understanding, this is policy regarding when you have a body-worn camera and cruiser, but there's no requirement that I need to have a cruiser-mounted camera. That's not something I install.
The policy states here that the policy is listed in the beginning, correct?
Yep.
Okay, and it states...
Counsel, do you want to introduce a copy of that?
Yeah, I'll introduce
All right.
a copy.
And I'll take as her answer that she doesn't have a cruiser cam.
Okay.
You want
Exhibit 1, please.
Exhibit 1?
Sure.
How should I describe it, Judge? Body-worn camera?
Policy.
Policy, got it.
Okay, but you had a body-worn camera, correct?
Correct.
I apologize, Judge.
Any other line of questions that you can ask while it's loading?
It just started.
Okay.
I can't. All right, so this is footage from your body worn camera. Let's see.
Yes.
Yep. Volume's up. You can hear your siren or your horn. At this point, you've already started pursuing Mr. White's car, correct?
Correct.
Because you were stationary when you were doing traffic enforcement.
Correct.
Okay.
So again, as I stated before, he initially stopped on the left travel lane. I do not have a cruiser-mounted camera to show that. And when what you don't hear is me laying on the horn and the sirens because the audio doesn't kick in until 30 seconds.
Okay.
Then he eventually moved over. But that's not where he initially stopped.
Look at this again. I want you to tell me when to pause it when you stop your vehicle, because you can see the trees moving, correct? While you're driving. If he stopped, you'd be stopped right behind him, correct? You're still moving, correct?
Mm-hmm. In my report, I put he was slow to stop.
And what you testified to is he stopped in the middle of the travel lane.
That's why I raised my.
Still moving at that point, correct?
I raised my hand in aggravation because he stopped, and then he eventually did that. I'm gonna repeat it for the fourth time, Your Honor. I did not lie. I'm gonna repeat it for the fourth time that he slowed to a stop in the left travel lane, and then right before I got in my cruiser is when he moved over to that left median.
But fair to say, from your footage, you're driving that entire time. You never stopped immediately. You didn't stop behind him.
I slowed to a stop because of how fast I was going, and he also slowed to a stop.
Judge, I would ask that this be, I don't know if the court would want to take a closer look at this.
Is it a Blu-ray or is it just a straight DVD?
It's a DVD.
Okay, you can, do you want to have it marked?
Sure. I might need this actually a little bit later, so if I can, some other questions that I have.
Okay. How much time do you think you're going to need, counsel?
20 minutes? I don't know.
Okay.
There's a lot here to be
okay.
frank. Okay. I want to ask you about where you were when you were doing traffic enforcement. You testified that you were on westbound 84, correct? Okay, and you were at according to your police, you wrote on your police report that you were at the exit 5 on ramp conducting the speeding enforcement. Can you, showing you a picture of a Google Maps photo, do you recognize where that is? That's exit 5 on the westbound. Okay. Can you point or circle where exactly you were there when you were doing enforcement? Okay, so you're on the on-ramp.
Yep.
You weren't on the shoulder of 84?
No.
Okay. I'd ask that this be admitted as an exhibit.
Exhibit 3, please.
And So where you were, you're on the on-ramp, and there's trees in between where you are and the actual highway. Correct? The actual travel lanes. Okay. And you testify that you have a radar speed detection system on your cruiser.
Mm-hmm.
And does that have a detection on the front and on the rear?
Correct.
Okay. And then essentially, so you're just parked there, and then numbers sort of pop up on a display in your cruiser, correct? Like the speeds that it's tracking, essentially.
It's a very dumbed down version of it, but yes.
Yeah. And then when you see a number that's high, then you can essentially look around and see what, try to figure out who was driving what. Right?
Sort of. Yes.
Sort of. Okay. So when your radar reads at 92 miles an hour, 94 miles an hour, whatever it is, you don't actually, at that point in time, observe a car driving that fast. You just observe the radar display.
No, you use tracking history to confirm what you're seeing on the radar.
So what does that mean? What do you mean by tracking history?
Meaning a car that is going, if it gets a car going, say 92, if I'm observing traffic traveling the same direction that I'm facing, I'm using tracking history, meaning I'm observing the traffic and I'm seeing what car looks like they're moving faster than everybody else.
Okay. But my question is, at the time that you see that reading, you don't simultaneously see a car going that fast.
So I'm already observing traffic, and it's essentially
You're observing traffic in front of you.
Correct. The way the radar works, it's like a chirping sound. The faster a car is going, the higher that noise gets. Okay. So I'm observing traffic, and I can see that car moving fast, and then I'm confirming it with the radar pops up.
When the 92, it's tracking a car that's behind you, and on the other side of those trees.
No, it's not doing behind. I'm just doing front. In that position.
Okay.
In that position, it's only the front.
Okay. So you then, at that point, okay, and also just be clear, this is also another, that's another view of exit 5 on it, correct?
Yep.
And that's fair and accurate representation of where that area is?
Yep.
Okay. I'll just admit this as the floor.
All right, Attorney Whitson, this is at this point, it's a civil infraction, so I am going to put a time limit on the amount of time you're going to have to question the troopers. So by 9:55, we're going to move on to the next case, okay?
I'd like to testify too, so I'd like for him to have the appropriate amount of time so I can testify as well.
Okay, so 9:55 with the trooper, and then if Mr. White wishes to ask some questions,
I'll do my best.
can.
I'll do my best.
Thank you.
Okay. Your radar and the LiDAR that you use, that doesn't create any independent record of the speeds that it's calculating, correct? There's no printout or anything that you can do with that?
No.
Okay, so just what, okay. Now, after you pulled over Mr. White, and he pulled over onto the left shoulder, you approached his car and you told him to pull over to the right side of the road. Again, he cooperated with that, correct?
Correct.
And then when he got to the right side of the road, you approached the car from the passenger side, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. And there are 2 men in that car, correct? Both black men, correct? And you asked Mr. White for his license and registration. Okay. And he gave them both to you. And then you asked him where he lives, correct? And you asked him where he's headed.
Most likely. That's pretty standard on any traffic stop.
Okay. And he told you he's headed to New York, correct? Which is the way you would, I-84 is the way to get to New York, correct?
Yep.
And you asked him for what purpose he was going to New York for. And he told you he was going for business, correct?
I don't remember, I'm sure.
With watching your body camera?
I'm going to take your word for it. That's what he
I'm asking you to testify. So did you ask him what business he was going to handle?
If that's what he responded, probably. That's what I would follow up with.
You asked him how long he was going to be there in New York for? Now, where he's fair to say that where he's going, what he's doing there, how long he's going to be there, that has absolutely nothing to do with whether or not he was speeding, correct?
That can be your opinion, sure.
Can you explain to me why him going to New York City is relevant to speeding, whether or not he was speeding?
The part of my job is asking questions.
That's not my question. My question is, let me rephrase the earlier question. All of those things that you questioned about, where he's going, why he's going, how long he's going, that has nothing to do with whether or not you can issue him a citation for speeding. Is that correct?
It does, though, because some people will give me a different story. Or they'll say, I'm in a rush.
So when you pull a person over for speeding, are you investigating a speeding or are you investigating something else?
I'm trying to get a story from them. Why are
Why
you
is
going
a story,
that fast?
So explain to me why a story is relevant to